And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watcher. It's Frankie
Let's
Football. We in the building.
go! Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Chris, it feels good and bad. It feels good and bad. It feels good because we are regularly back to, giving these people this content.
Hey, man. I mean, it is so good to be back in the building, man. We appreciate, man, everyone kind of holding our feet to the fire, man, about getting together and
Absolutely.
doing what we do. You're super extra busy. I'm crazy busy. It's that time of year where we kidnapping folks and throwing them in the back of the truck. But we
hmm
got to give the people, as the OJs say, give the people what they want.
Absolutely. We owe it to you. We owe it to y'all, and we back in business. But
Absolutely.
it also
Absolutely.
feels
Yeah,
bad, Chris,
man.
because we took an L this week, man. If we took an L, and that's never a good feeling. And I personally do not believe in moral victories. I don't.
Okay. Okay. I mean,
And
mm,
the
speak on it.
Cowboys,
Speak on it.
we took an L this past week
Mm,
against the,
mm.
the reigning Super Bowl champions. The score was what 32-29 if I recall, or 31-29,
31
something.
29. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
We lost by two. And it wasn't a great feeling, man. We lost by 2 points,
Mm,
giving Tom Brady more than enough time to come in and secure the win for his team. And
hmm
you should never give a vet that much time, no matter how many timeouts he has, even if it's none.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, on so many different levels, man, because we've had a chance to digest it, man, and listen to all the great content for all the YouTube creators out there, man, from A to Z Sports, uh, Cowboy Fan Talk, man, Cowboy Fans Only, Vaj, Koye, Foots, Joe. I mean, everybody has done an amazing, amazing job of recapping this game. But at the end of the day, we walked into this game with no fear of the opposition. And that's a great
Absolutely.
feeling. But I think we have to sit back and say now, what did we assess from this game? And it was like four prove something to the rest of the world that I think you and I have both felt for a very, very long time. And
Indeed.
he is elite with a capital E. So
That's right.
Wayne Dakota Prescott did exactly. He did far and above what more than I thought he would. He walked into that building and acted as if this is where I belong. I belong on this stage and I can handle it. So love what that happened. But the L stung, as you say. I don't believe in moral victories as well. You got to come out with the win, especially when you're that close. And it comes to a point in time with this organization, this football team, this mindset, or just this Cowboys franchise has got to start winning these kind of football games, especially when it's winnable. Especially when it's winnable.
Absolutely, man. And a lot of people didn't really believe in Dak Prescott as a complete passer of football. And I think that he did prove a lot of people wrong, especially when what's his name, Dan Orlovsky, huge
Amen.
doubter of the guy, as one of the network personalities. Um, which is great, which is all good and well. Dak went out there and balled his heart out, and that's kind of going to lead me into this first segment of our show today. The things that we liked offensively
Right.
from the game against the Bucs, and I think that Dak has to headline that segment.
Mm.
I loved Dak Prescott's play against the Buccaneers. I think that he made great decisions. If I can get his stat line up, let's see here. Dak Prescott came out and threw 403 yards, if I recall.
403
Um,
yards, three tubs, three
yeah,
tutties.
had,
You
had
know.
one interception, but when you're throwing that many times, it's bound to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
only got sacked once. And
Right.
when you have Villa, you know, coming against you with no Zach Martin,
Right.
get sacked only one time is admirable. You know,
Okay.
I'm happy to see that he only hit the ground one time.
Yeah, I think he only got sacked once. I think he was pressured a lot in the game, but he stood in, made throws where he had to make throws. He played masterfully. What he basically did was solve the situation in front of him, checked out of some plays as we've come to find out, but also just commanded the room and commanded the football team with utter confidence that you had the feeling we've always had. If four's in the game, I got a shot. So I think
Absolutely.
he did exactly what he did. He worked against arguably one of the top defenses right as of right now, the top defense in the NFL. Worked against what their strength was, and he exploited their weakness. What teams have done to us for years. If we were weak in one area, and we're going to talk about it, that quarterback would exploit it. What
Yeah.
Rain did, he was running guys out there. I mean, guys was going to getting IVs, running them out the building, and I mean, just went at their weakness and played a great game. Made the running game extended with the passing game, got everybody involved, and at the end of the day, man, he played an awesome game. Had the one mistake, which wasn't his. The only thing that I didn't like he did was two things. He had the interception, but he also took a sack late in the game or in
Yeah.
the end of the half to push us out of field goal range.
Timing
And
is
you know,
everything.
right. So that part right there, those are mistakes that you can't make, especially when you're in a top five elite quarterback. But all in all, love what he did. Uh, mid-season form, as we've always said, is a real thing, but he's well on his way. One of the things that I liked above all, and we're going to get into a little bit later, is the play of the offensive line. It gave us hope for this next iteration of this Dallas Cowboy offensive line. Uh, from inside out, outside across the board, Tyron Smith is back. Tyron Smith, the demigod, is back. Amazing night. Had the one hold, which was questionable, but one night, human night in Tampa, played an amazing game. Connor McGovern uh, was a huge bright spot in replacement of Zach Martin. Tyler Biotish showing you that he can be the next great Cowboy center. Connor Williams, the guy that everybody wants to get rid of, was flat out stellar for the
Yeah.
majority of the game. And Lyle Collins shows you, hey, I can play this game at a high level, and not a big deal. So the offensive line held up a lot better than I expected it to. I just think that as we go on a little bit further, I think the running game should have been featured a little bit more. Tell me what you think about that, bro.
So the offensive line was a highlight to me. We saw situations where, of course, Dak got hurried. Tyron Smith looked amazing. We see where as long as that neck isn't an issue, he can go out there and toss guys around like you saw him do in years past, and to the point where it looks comical, and I love it.
Right.
The one
Yeah.
hold, like you said, you just got to chalk that up as a game because guys are going to get held, and I would rather a guy get held than my quarterback get sacked. So you just got
Right.
to shrug at that. It's
Sometimes,
part
yeah,
of that.
right. But that comes with, hey, I'm gonna make this one last opportunity, and in a game of that many passes, being in that many times of pro
Yeah.
setting, having one hole, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's a great pitch count.
Especially in a situation where the ball is thrown almost 60 times. I think that the
Absolutely.
most impressive O-line effort to me was Connor McGovern. In a situation where
Mm-hmm.
he was thrown in place of Zach Martin, I think that he performed to a level where he could have gotten a standing ovation from me.
Right.
Where he was performing against Vita Vea, potentially could have had to perform against Ndamukong Suh.
Right. Right.
He performed very admirably. Got those magic steaks, those magic peanut butter sandwiches, and a full NFL offseason.
Right.
You could see his size and pop and presence in that interior line. It took effect, man.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
great job, Con.
Yep.
Both Connors, you can see that their confidence is up
Yep.
and their size is up as well.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
Um, I would wish that Lyle would be able to stick there, for a bit longer as well, because I was really happy with how he performed, having been out for all of last season. But that's another thing that we'll cover in another video.
No doubt, no doubt. A thing that I did not like, what we're still going with what we liked.
Yes, yes, yes.
The wide receiver core.
Absolutely.
The receiving core. Okay, we will no longer have this debate ever again of who the number one wide receiver on this football team is. The
Yes.
number one wide receiver on this football team since the day he got here is Amari Cooper. I don't care
Absolutely.
about the $20 million a year. I'm not sending him anywhere, because, dude, he is just a step above, a cut from a different cloth. He's just a monster, a full-fledged nightmare walking. That's what he is, man.
Absolutely, man. I think that even though CD Lamb is electric, even though he goes out there and looks like a I'm not even sure how to describe it. He puts on a Herculean effort
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
in that field. Amari Cooper comes out there and pre-snap he puts on that little limp, and then the ball snaps, and then he runs like a gazelle, switching routes like he is in a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
And then he catches, and then the play ends, and then he has that little limp again. So it's like you just accept that as normality.
You know, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish because I'm gonna steal one of your favorites. You know, it was almost like an Avenger feeling, but
Yeah,
Amari is just Thanos, man. I don't even know who
there we
you
go.
are, man. I
There
don't
we
even
go.
I don't even know
There
who
we
you
go.
are because it made
Absolutely.
no difference who they put on him, whether it was your first corner, your third corner, the quarterback coach. It didn't matter.
Absolutely.
He was an absolute problem all night, and his ability to shift gears, make get space, just be so sure-handed was just great. 10 catches, uh, I think what
13.
109. My bad, forgive me. Over 10 catches, 13 catches, two tutties. Just
Yep.
just a great performance. CD showed um that the
He showed
second
why
year
he's next
jump,
up, man.
huh?
He showed why he's next up.
He showed that when I make a mistake, I know I make a mistake, but I'm always gonna, bring myself back to being that guy. He had those two drops in the first drive. He still came back the next drive and said, "Come to me." And Rain showed great confidence in the young fella by going straight to him. Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup was the star of that second drive to the touchdown drive. Even though CD caught the touchdown, Michael Gallup was showing you on those bubble screens and in different spaces, he's going to be a problem. The Schultz Jarwin situation is a issue. This offense is going to be so very explosive. And outside of the blocking, which was an issue for me for Jarwin, this offense looked like well on its way to being what it's been with Dak behind as quarterback as a top two three offense in the league.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I think that you got to see where Dalton Schultz evolved into a complete tight end. You remember when he was drafted, how he was talked about as just a blocking tight end, just kind of like an extended offensive lineman. This is a continuation of last year after Jarwin got hurt, where Dalton Schultz got to showcase his receiving ability with Dak Prescott. And this was just a continuation of that. He caught all 6 of his targets.
I
Every
mean,
time the ball goes in his direction, he catches it, man. So I
it,
think
it,
that
it is
he
a
has
great they are a great 1-2 handcuff combination for the tight
absolutely,
end position. They
absolutely,
I think Schultz has the ability to be he can be a starter. But the thing about him being a starter is great, but it doesn't take away what Jarwin does because Jarwin has the ability to stretch the field. He's a problem with his route running and size, his ability. He knows what we all know what he can do. We also all know what he can't do, and he has to get better at. His blocking was absolutely uh, deplorable, to say the least, on the
yeah,
one play down the red zone where the Cowboys could have scored. I saw my man big time. Shout out to the God, the OG of OGs, Law Nation, doing a breakout film on that one play. And we kind of say, well, Zeke should have dipped back in. No, don't shoot. Blake Jarwin should have walked Mr. Adams back to the goalpost and acted like he was on the blind side and dumped him into the crowd on that play, and we win this football game going away.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I want to give an honorable mention, a surprise fourth thing that I like, because I don't think that this gets enough credit. I like Ezekiel Elliott's blocking ability for this entire game.
This is why you're the Batman of this thing, man. Nobody is talking about the sacrifices that Ezekiel Elliott gave up on that Thursday night. Preach on that, brother. Step on that.
So Dak checked out of a lot of plays, right? Which you got to kind of take it for what it is. You got to take what the defense is giving you. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If the game is competitive and the quarterback sees the defense giving him something, let him take it.
Okay.
Don't just run the ball for the sake of running the ball. If the defense is giving you a passing situation, take the passing situation.
Right.
That's why you have Amari Cooper getting almost 140 yards. That's why you have CeeDee Lamb getting almost 110 yards, because that's what the defense gave you. You know? And as a result, you have Ezekiel Elliott alongside that offensive line. Now, the Bucs defense did a lot of blitzing. Zeke ain't no slouch in these pass blocking situations, and he did it excellently the entire night. Entire night.
Right.
He only rushed the ball 11 times.
I mean, 11 times.
For the entire rest of the game, I gotta go back and look and see how many offensive plays he was on the field for. But for the entire rest of the game, Zeke was on the field not receiving the ball. So when he was on the field and pass blocking, he did an amazing job at it. All of these RPOs, all of these checked out of plays. You got to go back and watch, and if Game Pass wasn't being a-holes, we will be able to show you some all 22 of this, but we got to wait for the plug to get back in action.
Gotcha.
Flooded again.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Got to wait for Omar to go ahead and open up that for us so we can handle that. But you're absolutely right. I think what we're going to get into a little bit later, we're definitely going to put in another video. He sacrificed his own individual accolades for the betterment of the team.
Yes.
Running against that football team, which I don't think has given up a 100-yard rusher in quite some time, for him to say, okay, and for Kellen Moore, which is another star up or thumbs up or fire emoji, calling a game and saying, hey, I want to still run and keep us balanced, but also Rain being mature enough to say, I see this being a place where we can run, but let's get into a better situation. And I think that boded well for this football team later in the game, because they were tired. The Tampa Bay defense showed weakness and showed that they were tired, and they kept us in the game to the opportunity. We basically could have won the football game.
Absolutely,
right.
Man. So definitely shout out to Zeke. He deserves his flowers for that performance in the pass blocking, man. He doesn't get enough praise for that.
Mm-hmm.
So before we move on to the defensive side of the ball, let's talk about the things offensively that we didn't like, Chris. Do you mind starting off there?
I mean, that's perfect. The things I did not like offensively, I did not like the fact of the matter that we were getting bogged down in the red zone. You go in the red zone in that situation, and you're 1 for 4 in the red zone. You turn around, you got them on the ropes, and you let them off. As Dennis Green would say, you let them off the hook by having penalties. A hold by Connor Williams, a hold by Tyron Smith, a false start of everybody in the offensive line but the center. Mental mistakes that you end up making that cost you in that game. It's just the mental mistakes. It's the little things. We're scratching for every yard we can get in this situation, and you have those mistakes that really cost you points in the game. Even on the drive where we turn around and we're down there, we had to go for the field goal. Zeke is open in the flats. You look over, Rain looks. If you let the ball go early in the route, Zeke is there. He's beating the linebacker to the corner. He's getting leverage and he's scoring on that play. And even Rain said, "You know what? I blew it on that one. I blew it because if I let the ball go early, Zeke gets into the end zone." And that's a huge one.
Are you talking about the play where Blake Jarwin missed the block?
No, not that one. That was after that play. The first play was they did the fake handoff, rolled out. They rolled out right. Zeke was in the flat, and he caught the ball and he went out like at the 1 or 2 yard.
Too late on that one. I remember that.
Yeah. If he lets it go early, I think they were at the 7. If you let it go early, he's going to beat the linebacker or the cornerback to the corner, and he scores a touchdown right there.
Absolutely, man. He got to let the ball go a little bit sooner on that one, and then just a little bit following that, you had the Zeke Elliott pitch play where Blake Jarwin missed that block, man. If Blake gets that block, and that's what you were talking about earlier, if Blake hits that block, that's a touchdown.
Absolutely.
So
it's scored.
You got to get those type of things, man.
Yeah. You got to score on that play. So that's a situation where that's what I didn't like. And that was basically all. I think, and outside of the special teams being the way the special teams was, those are the things I didn't like offensively with the special team. I didn't like the fact that the special teams just weren't special, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the mediocre teams. There we go.
Yeah.
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
I don't think that Greg
the below average teams.
I don't think that Greg won a job for real, and I text you that right after the game.
You did.
Greg, the leg wasn't really a leg. It was like Greg the limp. It was Greg the stubbed toe.
Yeah. Greg not online. That's exactly what he was, not online. He redeemed himself later in the game, but in a game like that, you get the extra point, you miss it.
Absolutely.
You get the opportunity, you get the field goal, and you lose by 4. Those sting. Not having good kickoff coverage on a lot where they're getting long kickoffs and making shorter fields. So the special teams was really, for to say the least, man, Bones has got a lot to prove to me right now because between him, punting was okay, but the coverage teams weren't that good.
Absolutely, man. I think that you got to do something to kind of get Greg back in the rhythm because he had back surgery and then did nothing the entire offseason. So you got to get him back in the rhythm. Or do like they did and work that kicker that they just signed into rotation. They got to. I'm glad that they didn't do a situation like they did in I think it was 2019 and wait all season. There clearly is a sense of urgency surrounding their kicker troubles because they waited 2 days after that loss and then signed someone.
Yeah, they had somebody there in place, so that was good. Still wish they would have kind of reached out to Kai Forbath, who's never been kicked for it. It'd been great, man. I just spotted this guy out of nowhere doing it, but that was the part that I did not enjoy offensively.
So you raise a great point though, Chris. I wonder what it is against Kai Forbath. Did he not agree with someone? Did he rub someone the wrong way? Because he made a great impression on the game. But in the locker room, did he take off his towel and just walk around a little bit too long naked, or did I
don't know what he did. I don't know if he mixed his juice wrong. I don't know what he did. But what I do know is that when your special teams coordinator wants certain people in the building, then those guys have got to be special. And for the most part, they haven't been, So my whole thing now is that Bones is on a short leash. And I need them to be I need them to be special. I need them to start progressing towards mid-season form. And I think you have the ability to do it. So we get another shot at it this week, but games are too tight, and these games are too critical, especially early, because you want to get out the gate a certain kind of way. And that was the one thing, man, going into the opening night that I was just not impressed with how they handled the special teams.
Absolutely, man. Another thing that I did not like defensively, or pardon me, yeah. Wait, are we on did not like yet? Or are we on
We talk
likes?
about we still don't like what we like and what we didn't like, but we talking about what we didn't like about the special teams. But go ahead, wherever you want to go, boss. We straight.
Well, I'll talk about defensive likes first because I don't think we got into it. I liked that our defense got turnovers. Our defense got 4 turnovers. And that is something that we have not seen in a long time. And it's like a breath of fresh air, man, especially when that comes against Tom Brady. When you don't have your studs in the secondary yet, you don't got Kelvin Joseph in that secondary yet. You ain't got Maurice Candidate in that secondary yet. You ain't got.
It's not the fact that Maurice Kennedy can't be the secondary. They just don't want to play Maurice Kennedy. Let's not be like we don't understand. We have no clue why Maurice Kennedy.
He played 2 plays, Chris. He played 2 plays. He ain't in that secondary yet. Give it some time. He ain't in there yet. So I'm gonna call a spade a spade. He was a superstar in camp and preseason. He ain't in there yet, and they still got 4 turnovers.
Okay, I mean,
so
the turnover.
I'm call it what it is.
I mean, listen, I don't need week 6 for me to make the change of guys being where they need to be at. I know I've got players right now, because here's the issue that I think that you and we discussed it. I think some people they're the best that you have right now, because you have one really, really good cornerback and you got a guy on the other side who's serviceable. Yes. But you feel like Kennedy can play outside and inside, and he would be better than Anthony Brown.
I think.
I'm just going by what
some people feel like he is a slot corner. I disagree personally. I think that he can play outside.
Right. But here's what we both know: Anthony Brown can't play outside.
Yeah.
So that's we're a consensus that he's not good outside. So
absolutely.
And then you turn around and you don't play Nahshon Wright outside at all. You don't give him any burn out there.
Did he play at all? How many? Do you know if he got any play time?
I want to say he got maybe 5 snaps. But here's the problem. In a situation where you knew you needed a guy out there to make a play, when every play that needed to be made on somebody, Anthony Brown was the culprit.
Okay.
And no slouching, no, not taking away from anything from the Bucs, because just like we have a 3-headed monster, they had a 3-headed monster as well.
By the way, Nahshon Wright didn't get any defensive snaps. He only got special team snaps.
Okay, that's what I think. So So I think we harped on hey, what are they gonna do with our wide receivers? That 3-headed monster they have in Tampa was for real. We pretty much took Mike Evans and made Mike Evans a no-show for the most part again. I think he had maybe 2-3 catches.
By the way, did you see Trevon Diggs take his oldest son and put him in timeout? He told him go in the other room for 3.5 hours and put him away. He put him in timeout for 3 hours.
He locked it. He did a masterful job. The progression for Diggs is beautiful, and I think he's the kind of guy where you see he's going to go against certain wide receivers and be a problem, and will travel. And will travel.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now we see a trend. We see a continuing trend, because Trevon Diggs now has gone against a plethora of elite receivers. And I wish I had my list up, because
you ran it down. Yeah, you ran it down when you was on
the list. Yeah. When I did with Cowboys Fans Only with Jay Tuck.
Mr. Tuck, shout out.
receivers. Yeah. Shout out Tuck. That's my guy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I went down the list of elite receivers that Trevon Diggs has gone against and performed admirably or shut them down. And you can add Mike Evans to this list. He is his son now. He put him in timeout.
He had a great night against him. Really played well. Was fingertips away from sealing the game with a pick at the end.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Trayvon is showing himself to be moving into that era of being one of the talked about top corners in this league. But his counterpart on the opposite side really hurt him. It really hurt him. So they played mouse in the house. They found the weak link, and Brown was the issue. The other
they
thing
put
that
AB on AB.
Well, yeah, that's what they did. I mean, and that's what you do. So you got to get better in that. I love the fact of the matter that the defense showed to the point that they were going to stop the run, and they were hell bent on making sure that the running game did not overtake this game and make this game a shorter game than they had to. DeMarcus Lawrence, with the forced fumble, Randy Johnny on the spot with the fumble recovery. They kept. You didn't have that 120-yard rushing game from the Bucs that would have taken that game totally out the way. Kept them under 60 yards. Really played well. Micah in his first game,
he almost got a pick. It would have been a pick six.
Yeah, I think that as we always say, that's going to be the one thing he's going to look at later down the road. That this is the difference between playing Penn State and playing pro ball. Because if he makes that play right there, it's the game. It's the game. Ball game. And submits rookie of the year right there on that spot on that field right there.
Absolutely, man. Let's see. What else did you like defensively?
Love what Michael Parsons brought. Love the fact, like you said, you nailed it with the turnovers. 4 in one game because they come in bunches. I loved how well they competed and never seemed to just give up. They were to the point that they made timely stops. They made timely stops and gave the team the ball back. We just didn't just make that next step. That's the next evolution we're looking for this football team, is that when we get timely stops like that, we capitalize on that. We turned around. KZ's Johnny on the spot, puts his head on the ball, keeps Godwin from scoring, and then we take the ball and we go back down the other way. That game is one holding call from being a walk-off field goal win if you don't get that holding call on Tyron Smith. You've already got the ball down in position. You're going to drive it down a little bit closer. You're going to burn some clock. You kick a field goal. You walk out the building.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now let's talk about some things that we didn't like defensively. Even though we got 4 turnovers, we didn't get any sacks, and that's something that we got to improve on. This isn't a time where you can get one or the other. You got to be able to get both to capitalize. And that's something that I want to see from this defense, especially in a time where we're going to be able to see some of this depth in these coming weeks. I want to see more of that.
I mean, you got to put him on the ground. You got to get him dirty. I sat here in the house and I said his jersey is too clean. If his jersey is that clean, if his jersey is unstained and unsoiled, I'm not happy. And, we only got to him maybe Dorrance almost had a strip sack of him. And, when you grab his arm, grab his whole arm and take it with you as you go past.
Absolutely.
But you gotta capitalize on that. But you gotta put him on the ground. You put him on the ground, it changes his demeanor. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. He's that guy. But you gotta rough him up. And I think we didn't do that at all. We didn't put him on the ground. Randy was he wasn't there. DeMarcus didn't do anything. We just didn't get the kind of pressure that we needed to change that football game in our favor.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. This one is kind of on the coaches. Not so much.
Okay.
Why do the coaches like Anthony Brown so much?
No, I
Um,
don't. No, I don't. I don't want to say they like him so much. B. I think um he's a veteran,
so is Maurice
and
Candidate. I'm not asking for one of the young guys. So is Maurice Candidate. He's a vet. So
okay.
I'm not using that excuse this time.
You're okay. Okay, you're right. I'm not even gonna. You know what? I've been thinking about this all week because I knew we was gonna talk about it. Yeah, yeah, you got to get him off the field. But I think at that point, you put Kennedy out there, you just have a better chance of winning this football game. I can't even justify with a rebuttal, man. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he's got the Terrence Steele photos. He's got to copy them Terrence Steele photos to keep him on the field. But it's something, man. It's something. I don't know what it is.
Man, I tell you, and it's not like Kennedy is like a guy who's only been in the league like 2 or 3 years. This is his fifth or sixth year, if I recall. So he's been in the league just about as many years as AB. So
But he's
you know,
been, but AB's been with this franchise. So if this franchise thinks he's that guy, he can be that guy. I don't know what it is because it's like put him on the field and let him go do what he does. But
absolutely,
somebody somewhere is saying, no, we're going to stick with this guy. Because I think if Kennedy comes and plays, he's that veteran presence that you need in your secondary that helps
yeah,
bolster this team. I don't think that once, Kelvin Joseph, aka Bossman Fat, comes back, that he keeps Kelvin from playing. I think it just helps with the depth of this team where you can put Kelvin, work him in a couple different ways and move him in slowly because Kelvin can go in the slot as well as play outside. Kennedy can go into the slot as well as go outside. And I think you make your secondary a lot better because you got three guys who can travel and play either side.
absolutely, man. And he's a local guy, Maurice Kennedy, by the way. He's from here. He's from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. VA stand up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So gotta shout out the local areas. Went to Varina High School here. But the thing that always perplexes me is the wrong guys having sponsors. Um, Maurice Kennedy was one of those guys who he was like a Camp Darwin. Him and Nashawn Wright seemed like they were superstars. It was almost like they could do no wrong. I was happy to be wrong about Wright. I need to make a shirt about that.
I like that, bro. I like that.
Absolutely,
I like that.
absolutely. If we ever get big enough to have merch, that's gonna be one of my things.
Yeah, right.
But it was for them to have hit meteoric status and propel themselves so high. It's weird to me that Nashawn Wright didn't see any defensive snaps, and Maurice Kennedy saw two. You know that dislike on this game goes against the coaching staff.
Okay. I'm with you all the way. I think you had to find out a way of getting somebody who's going to be more effective. In the passing game. Godwin had an amazing game in the slot. He
Yes.
was a problem. Antonio Brown looks like that guy who
Yes.
he was before he started making videos in the locker room. Yeah, I mean, you had two guys. You had two guys who were beating you, and the guy who you thought was going to be a problem was totally locked up in the corner, with a sippy cup. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
you got to
Absolutely.
put that
His
on that.
dad came and put him in timeout.
Right. So I think that boded well. The tight end position kind of gave us a problem, but I don't
Yeah.
think you're not gonna go up against a monster like that for quite some time. I mean,
Yeah.
Gronk's a different kind of guy. So
Yeah, man. I'm not sure how to answer. I'm not sure what my answer to give you to the tight end position. Except for double them with a linebacker or something like that. Or I can't give you an answer to that because
I mean,
elite tight ends are so
it's not.
hard to guard, especially with the itty bitty guy like Jordan Lewis.
Listen, Rob Gronkowski is right now. The day he decides to stop playing again, he's just on the clock for going into the hole. and there's no question in that. And he's a defensive nightmare. I think
Yes.
Michael will be better served for playing against him. He understood that, hey, sometimes it's a perfect pass, perfect throw, and that guy's a beast. So give us more time, give him an opportunity to see more time on the field. We'll be able to start working against those guys. But he was just a problem for us with that. But I also believe if you could have put Jabril Cox on the field, I probably would have felt a little bit better with him running against Gronk.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it wasn't necessarily for a lack of coverage. I think it was just for a lack of size. You saw
Yeah.
situations where Gronk would just put his hand over Jordan Lewis's head. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's an amazing athlete. He's an amazing ball player, and that was
Yeah.
a good deal. So that's what we looked at. But man, I love all the progressions that this defense had. Um, Outside of getting more pressure, putting Brady on the ground. We got the ball, we took the ball away, we stopped the run. All these things that this team didn't do in 2020, and
Yes.
I like the I like the progression that it's going. This thing,
Yes.
as we said time and time again before, excuse me, it's a sprint. It's not it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So first game out, going against this guy he's building, 4 tutties. You're mad, but you're not mad. Does that make sense? You see you can get more, but you're just happy about what it didn't look like from
Yeah.
last year. Because last year they couldn't stop anything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like if you find tweak, the areas in the defense, you get the rest of your guys back. And you get certain guys off of the field, then you can get this defense where you want to be. Because, for what it's worth, yeah, you did play the Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
This defense will look better against worse teams. Not everybody
Yeah.
is Tampa Bay.
Well, I think you start going into the stretches. We're looking into the season, the next 10 games.
Yes.
All of them are against teams that you have an opportunity you can make hay and get some people back, work some guys
Yeah.
in, get some people more experience, and I think you'll be ready for that home stretch that you're going to need certain guys to do certain things. It's this thing is kind of shaking out even with this week. That we're gonna need everybody on deck to do what they do, man, and that's gonna help out a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else before we sign off, Chris?
Man, listen, man. Outside of we took a L, we salute the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for being who they, being a great champion and doing what they need to do. But in the mortal words of Rain Dakota Prescott, we'll see you again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We gonna see
Okay,
them again. They they and they
that's
they
right.
they gonna have to give us our run back.
They gotta give us yeah. If we want to check it back up, we're gonna run that back, man. But listen, man, we appreciate everybody, man, for staying on our behind, man, to be better content creators out here on YouTube, man. We are so happy, man, that as we get ready to start doing a little bit more things on a daily basis, but also this time when me and you get together, man, that people are subscribing, people are liking, and people are commenting, man. So as you've been with us this long, right? Make
Sir.
sure you hit the like button, man. Make sure you share it, man. And listen, man, we're going to keep bringing this content to you. We're going to keep bringing this vibe to you, man, so you can learn more about who Frankly Football is, but also more about your beloved Dallas Cowboys, man. Listen, man, I'm setting it off, Chris, man.
And I'm Brandon. This has been Frankly Football. Peace.
Peace.